Bismillah. Before the universe took on the shape that we see today, there was a moment that, if human beings could understand even a tiny part of it, their hearts would tremble with fear. It was a moment with no light and no darkness, no galaxies, no atoms, and not a single trace of life. A reality completely empty where everything we know had not yet appeared. There was only Allah, the Eternal One, existing in absolute perfection, not limited by time or space. And in that boundless silence, He began a new chapter of existence, a chapter that opened a world of beings that the human mind will never be able to fully grasp. To the audience of Prophetic History Explained, welcome back. What you are about to hear is not just information, it is a doorway into one of the deepest secrets of the unseen world. It is a secret that, if you truly understood it, would make you look at the world with completely different eyes. And from this very moment, I want you to prepare your mind for a shocking truth. The world of the angels is nothing like any image you have ever had in your head. When Allah created the angels, He did not use clay as He did when creating human beings, and He did not use fire as He did when creating the jinn. He created them from light, a light that is not physical, that does not give off heat, but that contains such pure power that even a tiny ray of it would be enough to change human perception completely. From that light, the first angels were formed. They have no gender, no age, and are not limited by physical needs. They do not eat, they do not drink, they do not sleep, they do not get tired, and they never grow weak. More importantly, they have no ego. They do not have inner battles like human beings, and they do not hesitate between what is right and what is wrong. Each angel is created with a single mission, and they exist only to fulfill that mission in absolute perfection. They are never late by even a second, and they never take a wrong step. However, if you think that this makes them cold and mechanical, like perfect machines, you are mistaken. Angels have emotions, a kind of pure feeling that only souls created from light can possess. They love goodness and hate evil. They feel joy when they witness a good deed, and they feel sorrow when they see human beings fall into sin. That sensitivity does not come from instinct. It comes from the fact that Allah allows them to witness the intentions inside the hearts of human beings. This brings us to a terrifying truth. Before an action even takes place, the angels already know what you are about to do. When you intend to do something evil but hold yourself back for the sake of Allah, the angel writes it down for you as a good deed. And if you deliberately rush into sin, they record it with a sadness that you are completely unaware of. The overwhelming part is not only their nature, but also the way their existence goes far beyond human imagination. Angels do not live in some world next door like a fairy tale. They are part of the operating structure of the universe. They are present all around us, but we cannot sense them. If the sky above us could be peeled back, you would see countless angels in bowing and prostration, praising Allah in absolute humility. There is not a space in the heavens as wide as 4 fingers without an angel worshiping there. What amazes human beings even more is their endurance across time. When you were born, they were already there. When you leave this world, they will continue to serve. They are not affected by the cycle of birth, aging, sickness, and death. They are not limited by time. They are not overwhelmed by change the way human beings are. You live for a few decades. They live for tens of thousands of years without exhaustion, without corruption, without any change in their faith. They are the absolute steadfastness of creation. If you think that you understand the angels, you should be careful. What you are about to hear in the coming parts will overturn all your familiar images. Gentle white wings, soft smiles, kind and delicate faces. The real world of the angels is not peaceful like a painting. It is so majestic that it becomes frightening. It is so pure that it makes human beings feel unbelievably small. and it is so mysterious that the more you explore, the more you realize that you do not know anything at all. If you want to continue this journey of uncovering the unseen world, press the subscribe button and support Prophetic History Explained so that we can bring you more profound and authentic videos. The journey has only just begun. If in the first part we open the door to the sacred nature of the angels, then in this part we will go deeper into another aspect, one that most people have never truly reflected on. The overwhelming majesty of their form, their size, and their number. This is no longer a story about innocent light beings like the soft illustrations that children usually see. This is the real world, an encounter with creation so immense that just a brief glimpse of one of them would be enough to make the heart of the onlooker stop beating, if Allah did not protect that person. What you are about to hear goes far beyond imagination, beyond all physical laws and beyond every mental framework that human beings are used to. To feel this greatness, let us begin with an image witnessed directly by the Prophet Muhammad. It is the sight of the angel Jibril in his original form. On that day, the Prophet did not see a creature with delicate wings. He saw an enormous being with light pouring out of 600 wings that spread and covered the entire horizon. There was no corner of the sky left with its natural light. All of it was filled with the light of Jibril, a light that, if it shone directly upon the earth without Allah's protection, would probably be unbearable for the entire world. On those wings were radiant patches shining like pearls, like cascading rivers of light, making every human word completely powerless when trying to describe them. And Jibril is not the only angel whose size would terrify human beings. One of the angels who carry the throne has the distance from his earlobe to his shoulder equal to a journey of 700 years of constant travel. Pause for a moment and think about this. If a human being walked for 700 years just to cross from that angel's ear to his shoulder, then how enormous must the rest of his body be? You should remember that this distance of 700 years is not a symbolic phrase. It is a real description meant to help human beings understand how small they are in front of the creations of Allah. In that world, there are also angels whom human beings will never see even once, but whose presence is so powerful that it shakes the heavens. At bayt mamur, the sacred house where the angels perform tawaf in a way that mirrors our tawaf around the Kaaba, 70,000 angels enter every single day to worship. The most astonishing detail is that this group of 70,000, once they complete their tawaf, will never return there again. They are allowed to enter only once during their entire existence. Stop and think about this. This has been happening every day, not for 100 years or 1,000 years, but since the heavens and the earth were created. So how many angels are there? Billions? Trillions? Those numbers are still far too small. The real number goes beyond the counting ability of any brain that has ever existed. When we look up at the sky, it seems like empty space. But in reality, there is not even a small area the size of 4 fingers without an angel bowing or prostrating there. That means the entire heavens, from the lowest level to the highest, are packed with angels worshiping Allah without pause. If human beings could see that scene for just one moment, they would fall on their faces in absolute awe. This is a truth that very few people reflect on. The universe is not empty the way we think. It is filled with tremendous beings, with entities so great that if even one of them appeared in its true size, all our ideas about proportion, gravity, and form would become meaningless. We, with our limited bodies and small minds, often place ourselves at the center of the universe. In reality, we are only a tiny speck in a vast ocean of creations, where each individual being possesses a power many times greater than anything we can imagine. The number of angels is not only shocking because there are so many of them, but also because every single angel is carrying out a task. No one stands still. No one exists without purpose. Every action they take has meaning, has a goal, and has eternal significance in the operating system of the universe. That is what sends chills down the spine of anyone who listens. Human beings sometimes feel lost while searching for a purpose in life. But angels are created with a clear purpose from the very first moment. The deeper we go into the structure of the angelic world, the more we realize that their greatness is not meant to make human beings despair. It is meant to make us understand that Allah, the one who created beings that go far beyond our understanding, is infinitely greater than all of them. If one angel can already leave us in awe, then how great must the creator of that angel be? That very question is the doorway into the next parts, where we will explore the purpose, the roles, and the connections between angels and human beings in every moment of our lives. When we talk about angels, we often stop at admiring their greatness and their pure nature. But what makes the angelic realm a complete system lies in something even more important: their duties. There is not a single angel who is created without a clear purpose. None of them exist just to make the universe look beautiful. Every angel is like a gear inside a delicate mechanism connecting the heavens and the earth, the visible world and the invisible world, human life and human death. When we look into those duties, we see something that makes the listener shiver. There is not a single moment in a human life without the presence of angels. At the beginning of this journey are two angels that every one of us has heard about, although very few truly feel how close they are. One angel writes down every good thing that you do, from major acts of goodness down to the faintest spark of a kind thought that starts in your heart. The other angel records every bad thing, both actions and the dark intentions that you knowingly nurture. They do not sleep, they do not tire, and they do not lose focus. When you fall asleep, they continue working. When you are alone, they are still with you. When you have a good intention and then stop yourself because you fear Allah, the angel writes that intention as a good deed for you. When you are about to do something wrong but stop out of reverence for Him, the angel records a righteous act for you. That fairness is not a theory. It is happening every second in the life of every human being. These two angels are not your only companions. There is another special angel who is always by your side, whispering gentle, righteous suggestions into your heart. None of us sees this angel with our eyes, but you have seen traces of this angel in very specific moments. It happens when you are angry, but suddenly you feel moved to let it go. It happens when you are about to commit a sin, but your conscience suddenly sounds an alarm. It happens when you are about to collapse, but a thought appears that helps you stand back up. Those inner movements are reminders from your guardian angel. That angel is there to balance the whispers of the jinn in a silent war that has continued from the moment human beings were created until the very last day. The duties of the angels are not only tied to our actions, they are also tied to our existence from before we are born. In the darkness of the womb, when the embryo is just a tiny drop, an angel is sent to oversee every stage of its development, from a drop of fluid to a leech-like form, and then to a small chunk of flesh. Every change is reported by the angel to Allah. At the very moment when science fails to fully describe the most subtle transitions of life, the angel performs a sacred act. The angel blows the soul into that tiny body. That moment is the boundary between unconscious life and conscious existence. At that same instant, 4 major destinies are written down: the provision you will receive, the lifespan you will live, the actions you will do, and whether you will belong to the people of happiness or misery in the hereafter. No doctor, no scientist, and no philosopher can change those 4 things. Only Allah can change them, and the angel is the one who records them. Besides the angels who are directly connected to human beings, there are angels whose responsibilities go far beyond the human world. Jibril is entrusted with revelation, the most noble task in the entire system of angels. No one other than Jibril has the honor of carrying the words of Allah to the prophets. Through the appearance of Jibril, the great chapters of revelation were delivered, changing the destiny of all humanity. Mikail is the angel in charge of the natural order of life: rain, wind, humidity, and crops. These are the elements that human beings often think are random, but in reality they are under the command of an angel. Every drop of rain that falls, where it lands, at what time and with what intensity, all of it is managed by Mikail and his forces. Harut and Marut are two special angels sent down to Babylon as a test for human beings. They did not teach people evil in the sense of encouraging them. They clearly warned that what they were showing was a trial, but curious people still chose to run toward that dangerous path. The angels did not commit sin. They were simply part of a divine test for humanity. In the decisive turning points of history, angels have also appeared. In the Battle of Badr, when 313 believers faced an army 3 times larger, they were not alone. Angels fought alongside them and brought a victory that no one thought was possible. That was not a legend. It was a sign that angels do not only worship in quiet devotion, but also participate directly in the unfolding of history. When we mention angels, we cannot forget those whose duties are in places that people fear to think about. There is Malak, the angel in charge of hellfire, and Ridwan, the angel who guards paradise. Every angel has a role, a weight, and an unending responsibility. Together they form a network of justice, protection, testing, and operation that holds the world together in both a spiritual and a physical sense. The duties of the angels are the place where we can see most clearly the connection between heaven and earth, between the sacred and daily life, between the smallest human choices and the grand operation of the universe. In the entire operating system of the heavens and the earth, there is a secret that many people have heard about but rarely think through to the very end. It is the way that Allah shows His love or His dislike for a human being through His angels. It is not through spoken words that human ears hear, and it is not through visible signs that human eyes directly see. It is a sequence of events that happens in the unseen world, quietly but with enough force to shape an entire lifetime. This is not a symbolic or metaphorical story. It is a reality clearly described in the tradition. Once you understand it, you will realize that your position in the sight of Allah is what truly determines everything in this life and in the next. Let us begin with a scene that, if you imagine it clearly, will make your heart feel squeezed by emotion. When Allah loves a person, He does not keep that love to Himself. He announces it to the entire angelic realm. Allah calls Jibril the greatest of the angels, the one who stands nearest to the throne, the commander of the angels of revelation. Allah says that He loves this person. This is an honor so great that if human beings understood it properly, they would be willing to trade their entire lives just to hear that sentence once. Jibril, with absolute reverence, immediately loves that person as well, not with human emotion, but with the pure affection of a being made from light. The event does not stop there. Jibril then rises and moves through the levels of the heavens, announcing to all the angels that Allah loves this person. All the angels who do not know how to hate, who do not know jealousy, who only love what Allah loves, all of them begin to love that person. That love spreads like waves of light across the sky. Every angel, in a way far beyond our understanding, becomes a witness and a source of protection for that person in many aspects of life. Then a miracle takes place. Allah places that love into the hearts of people on earth. What does that mean? It means that you may not be the most beautiful, not the richest, and not the most talented. Yet, in a way that is hard to explain, people still feel drawn to you, still trust you, and still feel comfortable around you. You do not need to manipulate anyone's emotions. You do not need to pretend to be someone else. If Allah loves you, the world naturally seems to open up around you. This is one of the quiet but most powerful gifts that Allah can give to any person. The opposite reality is something that makes the listener shiver. When Allah dislikes a person, the entire process happens in the opposite direction. Allah announces that He dislikes that person. Jibril dislikes that person. All the angels dislike that person. Finally, Allah places that dislike into the hearts of people on earth. The most frightening part is not that the angels or people turn away from you. The most frightening part is becoming someone whom Allah Himself dislikes. If even the angels, who do not have the ego or grudges that human beings have, turn away from you, then your path is left in darkness. It is not the darkness of night. It is the darkness of spiritual misguidance, where every step feels heavy, where the heart cannot find peace, and where life becomes a chain of unrest that no one else can explain. This system reflects the inner state of each person. When Allah loves someone, it is not only a reward for visible actions, it is a response to sincerity, humility, repentance, and softness of heart. When Allah dislikes someone, it rarely comes from small mistakes. It comes from arrogance, from a hardened heart, and from deliberate opposition to the truth after clearly recognizing it. Allah's love and His dislike are not random outcomes. They are the result of thousands of small choices that a person makes every day. The angels are only intermediaries. They do not decide who is loved and who is rejected. They only deliver the commands of Allah, who alone holds complete knowledge of every human being. What should make us think deeply is this: if those pure angels direct all their affection and aversion according to the command of Allah, then this shows how closely our actions are tied to our standing with the Creator. Because of that, the idea of being accepted or rejected is no longer just about whether people like you or do not like you. It becomes a sign from the unseen world. It becomes a reminder that if you feel loved and supported despite your flaws, that may be a sign of mercy. If you feel that wherever you go, you face hostility, bitterness, and heartache, then the first thing you may need to do is not to change other people, but to look again at your relationship with Allah. There is a truth that even the bravest people find hard to face. It is the end of every created being. Not only human beings, not only animals, not only the things that our eyes can see, but even the angels, those beings created from light who never grow tired, never feel hunger or thirst, and are untouched by time, will also face death one day. That final ending does not come randomly. It begins with one earth-shattering moment, the moment when the entire universe will tremble. The blowing of the trumpet by the angel Israfil. Imagine Israfil standing there from the moment the earth was created, holding the enormous trumpet close to his lips. His eyes never leave the throne of Allah. He does not blink because he fears that if he blinks once, the command might be given and he would not hear it in time. From millions of years ago until now, he has stood in that position, ready, absolutely focused, completely still. This is not a symbolic image, it is a real description of the longest, most solemn, and most intense waiting in the history of the universe. Then, at a time that only Allah knows, the command will be given. When Israfil blows the trumpet the first time, not a single living thing will be able to remain standing. The sound of that trumpet is not like the loud noises that human beings are familiar with. It is a sound that pierces every heaven, that passes through all matter, and that cuts straight through the soul. In a single moment, all life will be extinguished. Babies still in the womb will be shocked to the point that the pregnancy is lost. People who appear completely healthy will fall dead on the spot. Oceans, mountains, buildings, and planets will all crumble into desolation. The world will enter a state of absolute silence for the second time since the very beginning. That silence is not only for humanity, it reaches the angels as well. The angels who carry the throne will fall. Mikail, who controls rain and wind, will collapse. Jibril, the greatest of the angels, the one who brought revelation to the prophets, will die. Israfil, the one who blew the trumpet and triggered the end of life, after completing his duty, will die. In the end, only one angel will remain, malak mawt, the angel of death. The angel of death will ask, "O Allah, who remains alive besides you?" And Allah will say that Jibril, Mikail, Israfil, and the angels who carry the throne remain. Then one by one, the angel of death will be commanded to take the soul of each of them. Jibril, who once appeared so mighty that he overwhelmed the Prophet Muhammad, will be helpless in front of the command of Allah. Mikail, who controlled the vast forces of nature, will not escape. Israfil, who blew the trumpet that determined the fate of the universe, will also fall. Finally, the angel of death will be commanded to take his own soul. When he finishes this last task, both the seen and unseen worlds will sink into absolute stillness. There will not be a single created being left alive. In that emptiness, Allah will say, "To whom does the kingdom belong today?" There will be no answer, no living soul left to respond. Then Allah will answer, "It belongs to Allah, the One, the Subduer." This is the moment when all power, all kingdoms, and all systems that human beings ever built become meaningless. It proves that from beginning to end, every life belongs to Allah, and every death belongs to Him. However, the journey does not stop there. When the world enters the day of judgment, the angels will be brought back to life, not to live for themselves, but to carry out one final grand mission, arranging humanity in front of the scale of justice. This scale is so immense that if the entire heavens and earth were placed on one side, it could still weigh them with precision. The detail that truly shakes the human heart is not the size of the scale, but the reaction of the angels when they see it. The angels who have never sinned, who are eternally pure, will tremble in fear in front of that sight. They will ask, "O Allah, for whom is this scale?" Allah will answer, "For whomever I will among my creation." At that moment, the angels will say, "Glory be to you. We have not worshipped you as you deserve to be worshipped." This is not a confession of failure. It is their way of reminding humanity that even they, with their absolute obedience, still feel that they have not done enough in front of the greatness of Allah. So what about human beings who are weak, full of mistakes, and driven by countless desires? Have we ever worshipped Allah in a way that is truly fitting? When we look back at the entire journey of understanding the world of the angels, from their pure nature and majestic forms to their subtle tasks and their role on the day of judgment, we discover something important. This world is not empty or lonely. What we see with our eyes is only a thin slice of the truth. Behind every moment, every breath, and every event in life, there is the operation of a precise, merciful, unseen system arranged by Allah. Human beings often feel small, weak, and helpless in the face of trials and changes. However, when we understand how the world of the angels functions, we recognize that we have never been abandoned. There is not a single second when Allah leaves us alone on this earth. There is no action that goes unrecorded. There is no pain that goes unseen. There is no prayer that is not carried up by the angels. There is not a single step that lacks observation, support, or testing from the beings who are created solely to help human beings stay on the right path. The world of the angels does not exist to frighten us nor to create a distant mystical atmosphere. It exists so that we can understand that our lives have meaning, have purpose, and are always under the care of the Creator. The deepest lesson from this entire journey is awareness. The angels always carry out their duties without hesitation. The heavens and the earth move under the command of Allah without delay. So what about human beings? We are the beings who are given intellect, emotion, and freedom of choice. Yet those choices are very often what pull us away from Allah. When the angels record every action, the real question is not, does Allah see me? But am I living in a way that is worthy of what He has given me? The way to apply this right now is very clear. Live as if every action is written down because it truly is. Treat others well because the angels record even the smallest kind thought. Stay away from wrongdoing because the angels also write down each dark choice in your heart. Pray, repent, and cultivate sincerity because none of that is meaningless. Above all, keep nurturing your relationship with Allah. When He loves you, the entire angelic realm loves you. When He turns away, the entire universe will feel distant. If you want to continue exploring profound truths about the unseen world, from the history of the angels and the stories of the prophets to the hidden secrets within the religious tradition, join the Prophetic History Explained community. That way you can access deeper and more authentic knowledge. And remember to subscribe to support us in bringing you more valuable, insightful, and truly unique content in the upcoming videos.